that. Let's go ahead and kick this up. Kick up the volume a little bit. See how that works. Don't got anything in my teeth? Don't have any teeth. Ha! Dentures will be done soon. Okay, so I think we're okay. Looks like we're going. Cool. All right, so today we are working on. Let me go ahead and switch so you guys can see this too. All right, so today we're working on the phase 2 of the brainstorming. 'Cause yesterday we went through BMAD, we got it installed. We went through part of the brainstorming. That's going to be in. Where is that going to be saved at? It's going to be saved under a brainstorming session because we got a lot of good feedback from it. We made some good decisions, I think. We just kind of did a brain dump of what I know how to do, what I'm aware of, stuff I've never heard of before. And then I really wanted to ask it, like, how am I going to work this into what I've already got and kind of how I already operate? Because I don't want to just completely blow myself up and all right, so Creation OS, good day, sir. Crank your volume gain up. All right, so I'm at 500 for my volume. I don't know. And then when I look at the mic here, like I'm blowing up past into the red. So like I'm as loud as I'm gonna get. So I don't know if that's on your end or here. Let's try this out. Let's see if this works. We'll pause this. Okay, and then we will go to. Oh, I did it already. It was just, oh, you're just reminding me to do it. All right, yeah, no, I cranked it way up. It's way up. Like my little red meter is uh the little red meter on the side is like, don't talk so loud, don't talk so loud. So, all right. Well, hopefully you guys got it. All right, what was I doing? Yeah, so the workflow that I already use, I like with Claude, and I don't want to completely blow it up. I mean, if it's something new and it's cool and it's a better way than what I'm doing it, that's great. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and get on the hype train uh, for something. So, um, right. So we did that. All right. So what we're going to do today? We're going to resume. This is kind of a long list, so we'll see how far we get when Claude helps me write these. So he gets a little overstimulated and thinks that I'm a better developer than I am. But we're gonna we're gonna resume the brainstorming, and then we're gonna get on the structure and organize the ideas it says themes, which I think, because I've never used BMAD before, but I've used this kind of method before. We're gonna start narrowing down what we're actually gonna build. So it should help us kind of tease out the ideas of what we want to do versus like what's unrealistic, which working with an AI, it always assumes in the back of its AI little brain that you're a team of 100 people, and that's just not true. So we got that, and then we will try and get a reality check, and then we're actually going to have to make some real decisions, not just kind of fluffing around. Which I hope we get to the real decisions. If we get to the reality check, I'll be happy. But if we get to actual decisions and make some, that would be great. And then we have a list of lingering questions that I'm not 100%. They kind of don't matter now. Let's see, where did we get to the already made? Right. So the specific front end framework, the back end technology, we got to still do those database choice for V1. Pretty sure database choice for V1 because I'm pretty much going to be the owner user. I'm not quite ready to put it out into a beta within the next couple of weeks. I don't think that's realistic. We're probably just going to use a JSON file, not an actual database. Because our big bet is that the workflow makes sense. It makes sense, and that the core uh, journey through the application that all the screens and what it actually the core purpose of the application works. If that doesn't work or it's too complicated or it doesn't meet the need, because I'm the number one user and I'm marketing to people who are me, in my same sandwich generation with the same problem, if that doesn't work, then it's back to the drawing board. Either a different app or a different way to impose this app, or we'll have to go look what commercial stuff is available. Which I think I said before, I looked at commercial stuff and it just wasn't. It's just a reminder app or a task list. It's not, which you could do that anywhere. I don't need to build an app for that. You could do that on Microsoft To Do or any number of other applications. Um, all right, so we did that. Did that. Um, just an off chance that somebody watches the stream later, which I kind of doubt because I'm just starting. But remember what the app EmberCare app is right now. It's a standalone app that I'm developing for myself as a user, um, because managing 9 people in the house, kids, wife, elderly father-in-law, managing the medication for that is is overwhelming. And elderly medication, they're like 25 pills. And then you got to do doctor's visits, and that medication changes over time. He's diabetic, so his dosage changes. Well, our particular situation is we got a local pharmacy that we get some medication, but then his civilian doctor prescribes medications. It's got to go to his VA doctor for approval, and then the VA pharmacy actually ships it. So that's a complicated workflow that, and he's 82, so he's not going to manage that. He's a sharp guy. He knows what medication is. He knows what he's taking, but trying to keep that from stuff is waiting to be shipped. Stuff is shipped. It's in the mail. It arrived yesterday. We put it in the working box. It's in his pillbox. So do that monthly. And because the VA doesn't like ship you all your stuff at one time, it ships it piecemeal. So you have to, where is this? When is it? You know, and plus the VA just went through a deal where they you used to have to call it in. Then there was a website. You could just click the boxes and reorder it. And then that website actually is getting nixed, which is, I think it's already nixed. You have to go to a different website, and now we got to log in for that. And I got to show him his ID. And like, it's a big thing just to make sure this guy gets his medication. It's not simple. It should be simple, but it's not. And that's what we're hoping to solve. Um, and then the big picture is the sandwich generation, guys like me, we have kids, like I said, 9, and then with everybody involved, and then also taking care of the elderly people. I have a son that has disabilities, so it gets complicated. You got to do both at the same time. So I want to build applications around that sphere. Number one, because it'll help me, being selfish. It solves my problem. There's not good applications to do that, and sometimes the best thing is a notebook and a piece of paper and a pen, but sometimes it gets more complicated than that. So the applications that I could build that'll make streamline my life and make it easier for me should make other people's lives easier. So we're going to do some open source projects. We're going to do some commercial projects, subscriptions. Because if I could do this full time as just my gig, it's just I build these applications and have subscribers. I didn't want to do that before, but I've talked to enough people lately that, like, no, I could see a real benefit to doing this for other people, and I could see a real benefit of people who have it worse than me, need something like this. So we're going to do EmberCore. It's like a big platform, and then these little applications that come out after that will either be added to the platform or stand alone or whatever. But the big idea is caregiver support. People who are taking care of people with disabilities, their own children, elderly. It's not just a pill reminder app. It's not just Google Calendar. Those those don't work for more complicated workflows. And I don't want to send somebody an enterprise application to manage doctor's appointments. That's stupid. Um, but okay, so let me take a break here real quick, fill my coffee, and then it'll be a short one, and then we'll jump back into the brainstorming phase 2. But I'll be back real quick. Okay, let's. Okay, all right. So we loaded up the brainstorming session results. Let me jump through this real quick. Just so I make sure that I know where we're at. Yeah, deep dive, core problems. We're making sure that we're doing. We already had the desktop version, 70% complete, but we want to do a web version. We're reconsidering just about everything other than the core mission. This is going to be a multiple session thing. Right. Right. We talked about, yep, different views. Yeah, we talked about what we know how to do, Azure, Netlify, I've done that before. Vercel, I've looked at the deployment platforms. I've looked at Vercel a couple of times. They really have changed since the last time I looked at it. They did a lot of stuff. Um, so whatever I thought I knew about them, I'd have to learn from scratch. What I already had, all the ones I wanted to do with BMAD, yep. More structured. That's structure's good. Templates, better logs. I was burning up a lot of tokens on the logs, doing it myself. So I'm always a little hesitant to like how many logs are we going to keep? How long are the logs? If you notice that Claude code compared to other AI, Claude is very verbose, like lots of lines. The code, not so much, but when he's talking or explaining something, he's the AI is out of control. It just spits out so much crap, which I mean is fine. I don't mind that. I like to read, but that burns tokens, it burns context, it burns memory, and sometimes you can get overwhelmed in your documentation just because like I want to make this so perfect and I want to make sure I'm doing it right that you're just writing documentation for days and you didn't actually get any code out. So you got to be careful with that. Now, I mean, we're gonna trim it. We're gonna see what happens with it. I just worry about loading that context. It's like if you go down into I just started a brand new Claude conversation, and this works pretty. Any of these CLIs, it'll work something similar like this. If you go in there and put in context, so it'll show you right. 70, so we're about 38%. Now, why are we at 30% of 38% of our context already? Just hey, turn on Claude. We burnt 38. Just turn on. And what do we got on there? We got system prompt. That's not bad. System tools. That's not bad. Memory files. 8%. Not bad. But that's pretty high because my Claude file in this repo is pretty big, and then my global Claude file is huge. That's something that I'm gonna have to. That's something I'm gonna have to fix because it's just too big. And then we have a technical difficulty here that I can fix pretty quick. We can turn this on, and then we can turn this on. There we go. Okay, sorry. Headphones shut off because I wasn't playing any music. Um, okay, so I can fix that. I just and then the auto compact buffer. I'm not sure why we're at 22%. I don't know why that is. That's actually a lot. But that'll free up if I have to buffer. Okay, so we're gonna do resume. Because we're gonna resume this conversation. And then we're gonna add to we're gonna add the brainstorming session yesterday. Be starting two. Yeah, we're gonna go. Yep, we're active. I like that about the BMAD compared to like some other stuff that I have tried is that it really does work on the document with you as you go. So sometimes the AI will be like, okay, cool, edit these 5 files. And then you work with them for 10 minutes. And then you'll remember, oh, shit, I got to go back and update this stuff. To kind of, oh, I'm saving time, but I'm not saving time. As long as the AI will keep things in progress, then I think that's a good, okay, you're actually helping me, not making my life harder. What we're doing in this phase, identify patterns, group related ideas to coherent themes, spot connections I might not have seen. That's great. Great clusters that will inform your decisions. That's great. Okay. Theme clusters. Cluster one, simplicity and speed to market. Simplest possible choices. JSON file over database, skip auth, monolith over microservices, yes. Minimal UI, just a function. PWA for MVP. Yep, right. So I hate when people say time to market and speed to market and first to market. Because generally what they mean is I'm going to launch this turd against the wall as fast as I can, and then I'm going to scoop up all the customers that will eat shit. Like that's immoral to me. It's unethical. I'm going to charge you $500 for this piece of turd that might not even work because somebody will bite. I don't like that. I think that's unethical. But I do have to. Hey, perfect is the enemy of done. So I do at some point have to ship a product, and I know at my skill level it's not going to be perfect. And at anybody's skill level, it's not going to be perfect. But I don't have to just, I can't just eliminate responsibility for it being good. I have to show up with my face on a product, and I'm the guy that wrote this, and I'm the guy that's asking you for money. So it's got to be a good product. So yes, I value going fast, but not so fast that I get into all kinds of trouble. And we have to be extra careful for security and for HIPAA because this is medical data. So anything that I launch out into the public space with other people and myself, I can't have something that's going to get hacked with my own medical data. Um, so we have to be more careful than like, oh, this is a to-do app. Like, no, it's HIPAA. Okay, EmberCore platform vision, yes. Ecosystem, not app. This is my foot in the door. Yep. 5-stage life cycle, process, not reminders. Why tracking, off label, purpose content. Historical tracking, dosage changes over time. Okay. Yep, we're going to do some streaming sessions because it produces some accountability on my part. Change log doubles as content. Decision logs, fuel block. Yep. Dual purpose everything. That's just a life hack, I guess. Is that everything that you do, especially in your work, can serve multiple purposes at the same time. And you might as well just leverage it. With today, the way the market is, today the way development is, getting hired, getting fired, getting it, you have to produce something and then make it work for you 4 or 5 different times. And if you can automate it, even better. Decision log timestamps, session handoffs, get commits. Yep. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? What I forgot to do? We need to go to. We need to go to this. We're going to go to our source control. We're going to commit our changes. Come on, generate a good one. Commits, sync changes. Okay, then we're going to go over here. We're going to create a new branch from dev. And then what are we going to call this? We're going to call this Brainstorming. Phase 2. And we're going to publish our branch. Normally, this like isn't that big of a deal. When you're doing like your planning and stuff, it's okay to stay on the dev branch or the main branch even. It's if you're not doing code, it's okay to do this. But I'm trying to make sure, especially being on a stream, I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing things the right way and not kind of half-assing it. Okay. All right, I think. Yeah. Just real quick, I'll speed read it so not boring. We did that. We did that. It's out of my way. And don't do it the way accretion does it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought I was the king of foot guns. Accretion OS, I love you guys. You're doing good work. Good work, but introduce all kinds of foot guns. Yeah, this is correct. Yeah, I like that. You still drinking coffee? It's cold here, so I'm going to be drinking coffee every day, all day. Excellent. Now let's. You do have good commit. You do have good commit messages. They're pretty funny. They're pretty good. And yeah, coffee. I was drinking Monster, but it's too cold for Monster. It's not cold yet, right? So it's like 60. So it's not cold. I'm just kind of making a joke because it was hot. We had a hot summer, and then it was like 95, and then it was 60. So it's going to take a little bit to climatize, but we're going to below zero temperatures this year. Lots of snow, lots of ice, freeze thaw, freeze thaw. It's going to be shitty. But we're going to have below zero. All right. How does this clusters connect? BMAD workflow enables cluster one simplicity and speed. Yep. Cluster four building public validates. Yep. Differential. Yep. Supports. Sure. Decision logs, blog content, templates, consistent velocity, GitHub integration, professional process, even as a solo dev. Yeah, because this professional process as a solo developer. So like right now I'm working on my own and I plan on being a solo guy for as long as I possibly can. I think with AI, a solo developer who is paying attention and not just letting AI do whatever it wants, a solo developer can get very far, much farther than they could even 2 years ago, or even last year. So that's great. But at some point, if you're going to grow, you've got to build a team. Nobody does anything 100% on their own. They have to have a team. Um, Not anything worthwhile and not anything long term. You have to have a team. So starting with professional process from the beginning, so you have a complete history and you just are used to going through the motions, you can take on team members, you can take on contributors. If I do end up open sourcing this, if I already have the infrastructure in place, one day I'll wake up and I've got, you know, 10 people who want to contribute. If I got no way for them to do that. Simple text choices, faster shipping, more content. I do prefer to do my dev stuff alone. Aaron. Yeah. It's okay. Like, hey, I just don't want to be on a team. That's fine. You could just not be on a team. Or you're on a team, but your workflow, like your dev, your contributions, you just do by yourself. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Plenty of people do that, and plenty of people like this is how I do it, but I contribute to this other project over here. So yeah, I'm on the team, but I don't 100% like go to meetings every day. Like that's fine. You have to enjoy what you do and be comfortable with your workflow. True, but both things are true. You have to be comfortable with your workflow. You have to be productive with your workflow, like actually get stuff done, or else you're just wasting your time, right? And then have fun with it. You got to have fun. And then, um, if you're going to work on this project that you want to be big, um, you got to have a professional workflow. Oh, the weight on other people. Yeah. So if you, the weight on other people. Yeah. If you are, working on a team and you got people who block you because they don't get their shit done, that's a problem. So if you don't like to wait on people, you need to make sure that your team is tight and you don't have to wait on them. That is just a work hazard. I have commercial stuff that I'm working on that I won't get to this week because I'm blocked, and everybody knows I'm blocked. So nobody's mad at me. I can't do anything about it, but I'm blocked. It won't be done this week. So stuff that I planned on having done by Friday isn't going to be done. So what do you want me to do? It doesn't mess with my money on this job. If it messes with my money, I get super pissed and make a big deal about it. But says it doesn't affect my money, I let the boss worry about it because it affects his money. So he can be mad all he wants. Yeah, get her done. Yeah, yeah. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. I got faith in you. You'll get your project finished. Okay, where did I got lost here? Let me explain the flow. BMAD. Yes, 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 yes. Faster iteration. Again, this is where speed is nice, where the things that I think are happening, I need to get as quickly as I can to I'm wrong. I messed up. I'm wrong. I'm thinking about this correctly. I don't want to wait 6 months to find out that I'm stupid. I mean, I already know I'm stupid, but like maybe I'm not stupid in this instance. So let's hurry up and find out. That's a good go fast idea. I don't know. This I think is hype. Streaming blogging attracts caregiver community. I don't know that that's true. I've been told that a million times, but I don't know if that's hype. Um, I could attract developers who want to help. I could attract developers who want to hire me, and I could attract investors if people want to buy the app. I don't know that there's going to be a lot of people who need the app that are watching developer streams. I think that's just kind of a you have to stream it because that's what developers do. But regardless, we're going to work on that. I do see community feedback reveals what EmberCore modules to build next. That has to do a lot with, I need to. Okay, well, let's put it this way though. This is a differentiator. If I'm building an application and I'm in some these online communities for caregivers, if I do it that way, it's like, hey, I'm building this. I'd like to talk to you about what you need, and to get some responses. As long as I don't get kicked out of the community for advertising, but if I'm doing that and I get people's feedback, then they might be interested to come look and come see and then whatever. And then gaining that, hey, I'm building something for you guys. So that kind of interaction might be helpful. Um, we'll have to see. And it does, creation, it does take time. I think it'll take forever. Um, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to be a streamer. I mean, or a content creator. Or, oh, look at my YouTube videos. Like that's not what I'm trying to do. I mean, I guess to some degree, right? Like, no, to some sense, I'm like, look at my YouTube videos. I'm building an application. I mean, I'm doing that, but I don't want to get. I don't want to take sponsorships for Warhammer or something. I don't. I'm not. I'm not doing that. Yeah, open source cross sell other caregiver tools later. Yep. 2 to 4 weeks. Hopefully we'll go faster than that. So yeah, set up the BMAD workflow properly, templates, decision logs. Simple possible stack, yes. V1 medication tracker. I'm hoping it doesn't take 4 weeks. I'm hoping to get this version live to where I could use it in 3 weeks or better. Yeah, I'm already streaming. There we go. The only question I would have here is, should platform vision inform V1 features, build extensibility in mind? Yes. Build with extensibility in mind. Because if I have to pivot from the medication app, I could. Except with the platform. I can't wait for my dentures, man. Platform ahead. Validate differentiators before committing to the stack. Connections missing. Maybe he's not. Let's double check. AI does cool stuff. Okay, I read your chat. All right. Do it, man. They probably pay. Yep. Rest looks good. Let's continue. What did he actually come up with, though? Same thing. Yeah. While he's thinking, all right, we did description. We need. We did. We need. Did that. Oh, these are checkboxes. Herp. Okay, we're good there. All right, so here's a good question that I've been tinkering with back and forth. Is if uh, so he's mentioning for the back end. So I've done ASP.NET. That's very enterprisey, very corporate, very. There's a ton of libraries that are all official, so they work well. And as far as data handling for HIPAA and stuff like that, like it exists, it's there, it's reliable. I'm not particularly locked into Microsoft just because I'm using the language, but a little bit I am. And here's why. So if I use VS Code for the backend, I can use the C Sharp Dev Kit. And to use the C Sharp Dev Kit, you got to have a Visual Studio license. That's fine. You just log in and create the license. That's fine. Um, no harm, no foul. Um, I'm not worried about being tracked. I have a Microsoft account, so they're tracking me anyways. I'm not worried about that. But then it locks me into VS Code because if you go to Cursor, you can't use the C Sharp Dev Kit. If you go to Windsurf, you can't use it. The other option is to use Rider, which I have a JetBrains subscription, but it's Rider. And Rider's pissing me off because they're constantly pushing their Junie AI. Claude doesn't work very good in Rider anymore. The Junie AI is quite expensive and not that sophisticated. So it's like if I'm going to use these AI tools, so far my assumption is that I'm going to use Cursor and this BMAD thing in Claude. That seems to be my best value for the dollars I got to spend. I got to spend them anyways. So I got to be careful where that money goes and what I'm actually getting for that money. So ASP.NET just does not sound like something that I'm going to go long term. It's the same reason why I don't want to use Swift Web or whatever they call it, server. Because even though you can use Swift, and I like the language for iOS, and it's coming to Android, and it's coming to the server, and all that other stuff, it's not there yet, and it locks me into Apple because it's just not there on other platforms yet. And you have to use their IDE. There's a lot of stuff in there that I was happy with in the beginning, but once it got complicated, I wasn't happy with it. I built a bunch of Swift desktop apps, toy apps, not anything I can sell or anything, just toys to learn the language. And once it got complicated, it wasn't. It's like, hey, I can't extend this, not the way I want to. So, yeah, but if my tools are going to be Claude, BMAD, and a text editor rather than an IDE like Writer, then that does limit some of what I'm doing. And it makes me want to pull out of a structured enterprise language. TypeScript is run by Microsoft, but TypeScript is everywhere. And it's in all kinds of open source projects. And there's libraries for everything. And there's help for everything. There's all kinds of GitHub examples for everything. And AIs working with React and Node and stuff like that, the AIs are going to know more because they've scooped up more code. So they probably scooped up a lot more crap too, but they scooped up a lot of code. So they should have a broader knowledge base. So yeah, ASP.NET is just out. That's not going to happen. Node.js, I've built stuff in Node.js before. There's a framework for it this Hono. I don't know what that is. But then the other, it says backend candidate. Let me get this back on the screen. But then the other thing that he's saying is Hono for the backend. That's a framework for Node.js. I don't know what it is. I didn't look it up yesterday, but it's going to be a framework. That's fine. I've never used it. And then the other option is to do a Go backend, which I've wanted to learn Go for the longest time, just because I think it's a neat language and it's a good alternative to uh, some other options that are out there. And it's everywhere. And Go was written by Google, created by Google, and it's actually a competitor to Rust. in the web space as opposed to Node.js or ASP.NET or PHP. It's or any of the other Pascal, any of the other wild stuff that you could do. Go has a lot of the modern features that ASP.NET does not have or Java doesn't have. The Go routines are supposed to be fantastic. I think that's going to be what's going to happen. I think we're going to end up. The downside to writing Go on the back and then TypeScript in the front is that when you start pulling in developers for your team, they got to know at least those two, Go and TypeScript, and that worked. So you'd end up having Go developers working on the back and TypeScript guys working on the front. But that's and then if you have a full stack guy like me, you'd have to switch languages back and forth. I don't see that as a bad thing. I see it as a complicated step, but I don't see it as a. I honestly don't. I honestly don't see it as a bad thing. So we're gonna going to go back end, and then for the front end that I was talking about, Svelte and Vue and Astro. I think Svelte is going to be what we pick instead of React and Angular, but I don't know what Svelte. I don't know what options there are for Svelte. Svelte. I said it 3 times in a row. Svelte. I don't know what options for that exist for mobile or on the desktop even. So you can do Electron for desktop app. But we already said for V1 we're just going to do a PWA. So it doesn't matter. I'm overcomplicating it. But he might come up with something to help me think this through. Database, SQLite, Superbase, Pocket Base. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I still think it's going to be SQLite. I really like the SQLite guys. And then deployment. Vercel just seems like, but I'll also have to talk about cost. And Claude might not have the real time numbers. Go back to assembly. Yeah, you'd go back to only smart people making apps. If you went back to assembly, then only smart people would be able to make apps. It's like if everything was C, you don't so only smart people would be allowed to do it, and you wouldn't have all these garbage apps. And then the internet would function. The internet only functions because it's got garbage apps and bots everywhere. If we went back to just first principles and everything had to be good, then the internet would implode. It would all just get destroyed. Well, I would be fine. Yeah, I'd be fine. I like C. I've never written anything in assembly, but I like C. C's okay. I'm not very good at it, but practice makes perfect. All right, reality check questions. EmberCare is a platform, a medication tracker is module 1. What does that mean technically? It's a good question, my friend. Maybe, maybe if I do end up being a content creator and I'm some just asshole on YouTube, I'll do John learns assembly. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna have to at some point mess around with assembly because of the Krishna on ARM and Pine boards and stuff like that. There's some options there that assembly would be a better pick. So we could talk about that though. But yeah, assembly and C, like I'm gonna get my feet wet. It's gonna happen. Oh, is it smoke break time? We could take a smoke break. Yeah, we can take a smoke break. I'll be back. when you're back, and we will. Well, no, I guess people are going to come back, but they watch this later. Do people watch old live streams? I don't know. I never do, but all right, let's get back into it. I'm sure you're around. Can always rewind a live stream too, I think. All right, so reality check questions. Platform extensibility. What does that mean technically? Shared authentication system across modules. API. All right, so what is it actually asking me? All right. Here, why don't we do this? We will do this. Copy this. Want to open a new. We're gonna open a new Scratchpad. File. Scratch. All right, copy this. Yes. 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 No. No. Learning this stack will slow me down, but enjoy it. Looks good. Content. Increase in viewers. Needs more reach. Yes. No. Let's see. What do you say to that, my band? Hopefully you can read that. Close this out on the side. I like the idea of a mono repo, but I don't at the same time. I know it's being adopted, but I think for me it's going to cause problems. Modular platform with shared core services, separate deployments for module. Yes. Svelte plus backend, learning as it goes fine. Not going to do React and ASP.NET. That could be a thing, but I'm not going to do it. Slower development, but higher viewer engagement. Yes. Again, not trying to be a content streamer, but content streaming as part of my marketing, yes, absolutely. Attracting new team members, attracting new contributors, attracting more feedback. Yes, absolutely. And I do, as much as I was nervous about it, I do like the build in public so that, because it's the internet, right? So if I do get viewers, there's going to be a bunch of viewers who are like, you suck. And if they say you suck and don't say anything else, I don't care. But if they say you suck and here's why, that might be good for me. I got thick skin. Single binary deployment. Yes. I don't know why Go is not more. Um, I don't know why Go is not more appealing to utility developers. Like, oh, we're going to rewrite it in Rust. I don't know why you're not rewriting it in Go. You know what I mean? Like, I think Go is a better candidate. I don't know. I don't work on the kernel, but for Linux, I think Go is a better candidate for working in the kernel than Rust is. Go's what much farther ahead. Yeah, yeah. There's always going to be a dumbass. There always is. I'm not worried about it. I, I live by Chicago, dude. I run around with dumbasses all day. I see them all day. They're little stupid stickers on their car. Yeah, all day. Dumbasses everywhere. All right, stack feasibility analysis, felt and go. Okay, why does Claude think it makes sense? Come on, bro. You're writing everything in C. Yeah, there's the C is performant, fast, and as long as you're paying attention to security and you're paying attention, I don't buy that whole everything's got to be Rust because it's safe now. That's dumb. Um, and Rust is lots of people are writing unsafe Rust, but they're like, I wrote Rust. Wow, I'm so cool. Like, no, it's a nice language. It's got cool features, and it's going to turn into something awesome. But right now they're still in the I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know. I don't know why Go is not more popular. Go is crazy popular for enterprise on the back end and startups, and lots of people use it. Google created it because they didn't like the other alternatives. So when they wrote it to get away from Node, honestly, from what I can tell, they didn't want to do Java, they didn't want to do .NET, they wanted to get away. They wanted to get away from that. So they created Go. So as far as cloud goes, Go is way up there in popularity. So I don't know, man. If you're working in the cloud, if it's good enough for the cloud, why is it not good enough for the kernel? Maybe I'm uneducated enough that I don't know. I write a Q basic. All right. Okay, now you're being crazy. Now you're being crazy. All right. Stack feasibility analysis. Felt it go. Why the stack makes sense for EmberCore platform. Lightweight, fast. Good for caregivers on older devices. Yes. Less boilerplate. Yes. Component. Yep. Yep. SvelteKit first stack framework. SSO routing API routes. Yes. See, there we go. I knew there was something cool about this. Single binary. See? Yes. Rapid iteration. Excellent standard library. Yes. Cheap to host. Low memory footprint. See? Concurrency for future. Yep. Echo Fiber Gin. I've heard about Gin. Yep. It's throwing in microservices, which we're going to try and avoid. Yep. Static assets for Svelte. Yes. Binary. Yes. Easy deployment. All right. Now that's okay, man. Now we're going to talk about some real stuff. Front end Svelte, Bristol free tier, $20 a month. All right. So we're already up. All right. Fly.0, $5 a month. Tiny resources needed for Go. Free escalate later. Or super base free tier. So this project that I'm looking at to launch the V1 realistically is somewhere between free and $25 a month. Like that's it's not that bad. Like just to I mean $25, $25. If you don't have it, you don't have it. But it's actually cheaper than we'll have to fact check that, but I think that's doable. See, Linus hates Rust. He does it. He does, and he. But see, I don't see. Linus Torvalds hates everybody and everything. He's a very unhappy man. I'm not sure why, but he's got all the money in the world and he's got a good family. So I don't know why he hates everything. And he's loved by so many people. A lot of people hate him, but he's loved by so many people. I don't know why he's an unhappy man. But I know the Rust thing was about him. Uh, what was it about? I think it was about the formatter. The Rust formatter like does a lot of stuff for you, and Linus is not into doing things for you. The linting, he doesn't like that. But I don't know what you're gonna say. He let the Rust people boogie into the kernel, and he hasn't said anything about Rust being written in the core utils. So I don't know what he's saying, what he's doing. Doesn't matter. Oh, you are always unhappy, but you don't change either. Come on, man. All right, so what are we looking at? Question 2, database with Go, Gorm, or I'm familiar to .NET devs, SQLC, type stuff, SQL, Verigo, idiomatic, pure SQL, database, SQL standard library. Okay, so database with Go. Oh, what happened with Superbase or you can do JW tokens. Echo. Torvald's been getting ready to retire for 10 years. People have been talking about that. I think he's going to retire when he dies. I think he's just going to hang on to that when he dies. He's going to get up there on stage once a year and do a red fox and just start swearing at people. And then he's just going to do it. He's too power hungry. I shouldn't say that. I don't know. I don't know the guy. I just know from the mailing lists and the stuff, the video interviews I've seen of him and his talks. I think he really likes being in charge of Linux and managing the kernel. I mean, he just really likes that and being able to like stick it to people. And I do understand that some of his angry temper tantrums is because he deals with so much bullshit. Some of the pull requests into the kernel are stupid. Like, I don't know how you ever got there. Who let you through the door? So, I mean, I know he has to deal with, and Linux is worldwide, so he gets a massive amount of information tossed at him. He's got help, but he's also one of those guys that doesn't delegate very well. So he's still got plenty of uh, riffraff. I don't know. I hope he retires. I hope he retires because on Linux, if he retires, then the Linux Foundation can quit pretending that Linux is free and open source, and they can just voluntold, or they'll be like, "Oh, this guy used to work for Microsoft. Now he's in charge of Linux." It just get over with it. Let's take the mask off. Stop pretending. Oh, we already talked about that. It's felt binary goal. See, okay, so AI, you gotta be careful because he dropped working with an actual database and he tossed on stuff we hadn't talked about. Honestly, we hadn't talked about it. Like we talked about Supabase and Pocket Base, which I've heard about and I've heard good things. So Claude just like, hey, I forgot about we were talking about that, and then just dropped new information. And they're like, no, 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 no. We talked. So my response was, Echo Fiber Gen is fine. I can learn them. And then the database would go, what happened to Supabase or Pocket Base? And oh, okay. And now we're getting to this. Now he won't even acknowledge he made a mistake. He just, okay, he changed it. Okay. Yes. Yeah. You still gotta pay attention to what he's doing. And see, here we go, the Pocket Base Advantage, which we hadn't talked about. Single binary, like go ultra simple deployment. Ultra simple. Hey. Say that's good for API first architecture. Yep. And the JWT works perfectly with both Supabase and Pocket Base. See, you got to keep them on track. Pocket Base Go, SQLite, auth, admin UI, real time in one binary. See? See? So because it was saying that we could eliminate the need for a separate Go backend in V1. Could V1 be Svelte and Pocket Base instead of Svelte and Go? It could. Natalie is here. Awesome, Natalie. Thanks for showing up. I mentioned this before. Like, I know nobody's listening to this. They may watch it later in the way dark future because I'm saving them. But you guys don't have to show up for these. Just, I mean, it's good for the algorithm, and I love hanging out with you. But you don't have to be here. I do appreciate it though. But I know you guys got other stuff to do. Listen to me ramble and look at the wrong fucking camera. All right, yeah, we're gonna go this. We're gonna keep that like that for now. I'm hoping that BMAD solves. It didn't though. All right, I ran into it, so I maybe it's less of Claude going and doing his own thing, like this, whatever. He's doing something different. Oh, so that's why Pocket Base is written in Go. That's interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think? Here's the here's the pro and con. So if we do go with Svelte and Pocket Base, Pocket Base is all in one, meaning I get the SvelteKit. Um, well, Svelte plus Pocket Base. So the front end is SvelteKit. That's fine. I knew that that was going to happen. I was kind of leaning towards it anyways. And then the back end, I just decided 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago to do Go. I think that'd be awesome. And then the back end is Pocket Base. It includes everything. It's already in there for built-in uh, SQLite database, JWT auth, REST API. It's auto-generated, built-in admin UI, real-time subscriptions, file storage, single Go binary deployment. That's awesome. For a guy like me working on this project, I was afraid that I was going to get like, this is going to be hard to do a web this big, an app this big by myself. So then the pros are fastest to market, less code to write, still learning Go, Pocket Bases Go, can extend with custom Go code. Awesome. One binary to deploy. We talked about that. Built an admin. Yep. I mean, I'm not locked in. I can still use custom Go routes, Go routes, logic as needed. Yeah. SQLite zero config database. Now, the downside of that is less I'm learning Go on stream. Locked into Pocket Base patterns initially. So I'm not super familiar with Go, so learning how somebody else is doing it while I'm learning and getting proficient, stuck in their patterns, means that I'm following another professional's footprints. I can deviate later, but once I've learned a professional's footprint, so that sounds good. And I don't understand. He's going to have to explain the. Uh, taking a long time, Claude. I don't know why I would be hitting the scaling limits. Oh, 10 to 50 users. That's not going to work, man. I need thousands. Yeah, 3 to 10,000 users. That's realistic. I'm reading your chats. Program third times now. Yeah. That was a great language. My question is, have you illustrated your UI anywhere? I am fascinated. No, the UI isn't out there yet. It's in my head. I don't have a I mean I got a crayon drawing somewhere, but it doesn't matter. Um I don't have a full fledged what the UI is going to look like yet. Uh, my kid's working on one, but it is going to depend on trial and error. The first UI that comes out is going to be trash. It's going to be little blocks that move around. It's not going to be anything fascinating. Hopefully this will, because the path that I'm taking now, hopefully this front end, I kind of think is what's going to happen pretty serious in the next just little bit. So this week, next week, I'll have some kind of a UI, and I'll be doing it on stream and working on it. So you'll see it. Oh yeah, because I'm making him work through too much information. Yeah, Claude's working through. So I got here. Do I have a Claude in here? I do have a Claude in here. Claude is 1,741 lines for the Claude file here, and then I've also got yeah. These are huge. Oh no, they're not. There's 72 lines, but no, this is already pretty big for everything. That's what we talked about at the beginning of the stream. Like it's 62, or without even asking him a question, I'm at 42%. So yeah, these are too big. Right. All right, we're gonna take the smart path. Yeah, because this is putting us into cloud services. That's fine. All right, we're gonna start with puck. Yeah, that's fine. All right, what was his other question? Okay. My little lady back here's got to go pee, so we're gonna take a break in a minute. I hear you. I hear you. They hear you too. While he's thinking, let's. I'm gonna go ahead and take a break. I will be back in just a minute. Okay, we are back. Yeah, my little tiny dog. Where's what? This one. This one. She's got the littlest bladder in the world. But she's adorable. Aren't you? Aren't you adorable? Aren't you? Yeah. Aren't you adorable? Okay, what are we doing? We are. How do I take my dogs are spoiled as hell, man? Perfect, no issues, still fine. Rate heavy. Needed optimization. Market fit. 6 to 12 months migrate if it supports it. Yep. Microservices if needed. I really don't like the microservices, man. That gets expensive fast. But it is right. Once I hit SQLite limits, I'll have revenue. That's fine. All right. Okay, so here we go. This is our final tech stack decision. Let's make sure this works out. SvelteKit with the PWA enabled, yes. Pocket base with a Go-based single binary, yes. SQLite via Pocket Base. JWT tokens via Pocket Base built in. Yep. Vercel free tier. Backend to be fly.io. We didn't really talk about that. He didn't really we talked about it, but as a thing, but we didn't get into the details. Total V1 cost $5 a month. I can handle that. I got $5. At least once a month I'll have $5. Fastest time to market, we should be live in 2 to 4 weeks. Yeah, with Pocket Base, that's cool, low risk. Pocket Base, Postgres, same framework, core Pocket Base, Superbase, manage Postgres, that's fine. Custom Go services. No, shit, that was the wrong button. Now, if that kicked us out, but that kicked us out of the command message, that's going to be a problem for BMAD because that's going to happen on a regular basis. Hopefully, not every conversation, but that's fat fingers. That happens. Okay, no, we didn't. Great catch. Yeah, Claude, because you're always trying to go fast and not pay attention. Oh, no containers. Oh my God. All right, we're done. No container orchestration. Yeah, but see, Heroku is not nice. Heroku's trash. And Vercel, I don't know why that's not comparable. And I mean, there is Vercel like using their. Yeah, I get it, but that's eggs in one basket. And then, all right, but now we're into Docker, which I don't mind Docker. Docker's fine. It's great. But if I don't have to, then I'm not going to use it. Like, right, I'm going to narrow down my stack because I'm just one guy. Cold starts. We can't have cold starts. Can't have cold starts. OS updates, security backups. See, that's too much. That's too much for what I'm trying to do. That would take up way too much time. I don't know about less content friendly, setup not exciting to stream. It could be. People would watch that. But I don't know why they would watch me to do it. Not persistent. Okay. Now I understand. Your edit. Okay. Yeah. Ba, ba, ba. All right. So he's kind of on the right track. We're not doing too bad. It's almost 3 my time. Quarter till. We should get pretty close. Yeah, we should get pretty close. Claude is slowing down though. Yeah. Yeah. And so now we're into the. We can delete that. We can delete that. Oop, are we gonna go to stream? Okay. Where did the stream go? There it is. Okay, we did. Right, we identified. We did the structure. All right, we did that. We did all these. We did feasibility. We identified my skill gaps. We identified what's overkill. I think we're at the part 3. So let's go back to what he's editing. Phase 4. Oh, we're doing 4. Yeah, this is going to be a hard one. I think I explained that already, but what I do in my normal workflow is like once I'm doing all this roadmap stuff and all the planning and all that other stuff, I once I have that a pretty good idea of what things are going to look like, I have Claude break that down into actual issues and then I push them to GitHub. Since they live on GitHub, I can work with them anytime. I can work with them on GitHub and make comments. I can go through like what's assigned to me because I also don't assign everything to me at one time. I just assign the stuff that's important right now. And then I try and version number them to where I know one before two, before three, before four, and then I do subtasks and all that. That takes a lot of time to write by hand. And as a solo developer, sometimes that's a pain, but you get better results in the end. But with Claude, you can have Claude write way better issue descriptions and keep the versioning intact and keep the sub issues intact. It's not that hard to have Claude do it. So once that gets done, then you go to work on something, you just create the branch and tell Claude to grab issue whatever, do a discovery report, which he'll write a big long markdown file for it. You can analyze the markdown file like, oh, okay, he's really doing this. And he says, okay, make a plan to do it. He does it, and then boom, we're working on that issue right then and there. We're working on that issue. But he does a lot of the writing, boilerplate heavy lifting for you, but you always stay on task. And then your commits make sense. And if something fucks up, you can always dial back a commit or delete that branch and start over or whatever. BMAD wants to create a whole folder of markdown issues and not use GitHub. It's not designed to use GitHub. That's like out of the box, but I don't think that's not going to work for me. And then if you ever want to work on a team, and let's just say you're not going to work on a team. Let's say you're using like Darren's style where he's just working as a solo guy. If you have a folder full of GitHub issues and then you branch and complete an issue, your dev branch doesn't match until you merge back in. And if you have to stop and do a hot fix and create a different branch and do a hot fix, then now you have issues that don't align. There's no single source of truth. It's wherever you are on the branch. And that's a good, and then if you stop that project and go work on something else for a week and then come back, oh, now you got a mess. But if you keep the issues living on GitHub, then it's on GitHub. That's your thing. It's right there. You can look at the Git commits. You can look at whatever. It's on GitHub. You can look at the merge requests, pull requests, whatever it is, but it's on GitHub. So that way you're saved, protected, I guess. The schema, yeah. API routes, yep. Medication lifestyle, yep. Build medication list view, yep. The form add to edit all fields, yep. Phase transition UI, yep. Oh, yeah, and it's telling me to start a blog. Landing page, yep. Yep. Yeah, because I gotta go join community groups. Yeah, the platform. Yeah, we don't need to worry about that yet, but I'm glad you put it here. Yeah. Now we're gonna do the decision framework. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Can't build without knowing tools, great sharing content. I don't know about this. It says build a mini project. That's a little too content creatory for me. I think we will just dive in. I might watch a tutorial on my own time and then just build. See, that's where it's telling me to do this mini thing. I don't like that. Yeah, I know it's boring watching me. I know it's boring watching me just like plan this stuff, like just doing the research and shit like that. Like I know it's boring. Like you want to see like type out code, code, code. Which I want to do that too. But that's not how stuff gets built. I mean, I could just do this stuff in the background and then just code on the stream or whatever. But as far as like time, like how I got to spend my time, like no, this is my work day. It's like I have to do this part and get it finished before I start building the code itself. So I stepped myself back from doing the desktop app, which I already had a workflow and all that, so that I could implement this BMAD thing, which I think is good, and do the website, which I think is good. So as it have it be a web app rather than a desktop app. So I'm kind of you're seeing me dial back 6 weeks worth of work, and then 8 weeks worth of work, and then kind of start from scratch and then move forward. I would have spent all this time building all these documents by hand before I started going forward with anything. That's what I did when I did the desktop app. I took about a week. So this is saving me time, so I'll get to code faster, and I think I'll get better results. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if you guys are showing up to like watch me type out line by line code, then that's not going to happen. I mean, I will eventually, but I mean, this is gonna. It looks like this is gonna take me another day or two to get through all of the be mad, get ready to go stuff. So if that, I mean, like I said, if that's not cool, then that's not cool. But this is what it's going to be, at least for a while. Oh, you weren't teasing. You were teasing. You're like, John, you got to get in there, just type like crazy and act like one of those. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you heard of the Primogen? Watch him code. Like, yeah, that's not what's going to happen. Oh, not supposed to smoke on stream. Oh, I wasn't smoking. Well, yeah, I hope it's cool. I mean, this is what I'm doing. Medication trip. So this no, so I got one thing that I gotta set up is like Claude always wants to do weeks by weeks. This is gonna take you 3 days. This is gonna take you a week. This is gonna take you 2 weeks. And I never work that way. I work by how many hours is this gonna take me. So we're gonna have to I'll have to go in and edit. So let me write that down. BMAD doesn't know about. Because it gets done when it gets done. If it's going to take me 2 hours, I know I can do it on a Saturday. If it's going to take me 18 hours, that means it's during the week, and I got to drop some other work and just focus on that. Like, and his hours of efforts are real messed up, anyways. And the smoking on stream, I thought you couldn't smoke on stream. Not that I want to, but I thought like you'd get busted for it or they delist your videos or something. I thought you'd get in trouble for it. Maybe if you don't, I mean, if you don't get in trouble for it, that's fine. I see plenty of people vape on stream. I've already got it set up for streaming. I'm not streaming on Twitch or Rumble. Rumble, I just couldn't get the video feed to work right. It kept going in and out of clarity and being code heavy. But it's against their policy. Yeah, it's against their policy to smoke on stream. Yeah, being a coding stream, the code's got to be clear so you can read it. This is good enough. This is good enough. Can you drink coffee? Can you drink coffee on a stream? 15-year-olds don't smoke, they vape. Okay, cool. Yeah, if I couldn't if I couldn't drink coffee on stream, I'd be busted. Yeah, BMAD value demonstrated. I like this. This isn't going to be for everybody. Like to use this BMAD thing, but I think, and you can't use it on. If you're writing a utility, you probably don't need this. Like it's probably overkill. Medication validation. Yeah. Yep. All right. Next, view the BMAD documentation. I can do that on my own. I don't need to stream that. I'll create the first decision log on my own. I don't need to stream that. It's telling me to do the BMAD setup. It's already done. Okay, so this is going to be a problem when. All right, so we're going to have to edit this out because right now I have the streaming as part of the repo. Like I've had Claude help me work the stream scripts and stuff like that. So, but I don't want. This is where it gets confusing with Claude because Claude doesn't know the difference, like a side marketing advantage and then the actual code. It's already demonstrated like he's losing a little bit of train of thought. He's probably moving down in his context window, and then he's like, "Oh, content streaming," and that's not the focus here. The focus is the content is a side issue, and it's a side marketing plan, but the code is not the marketing. Does that make sense? So we're gonna have to do something about that because I don't want Claude. Uh, so I don't want Claude making cloud. I don't want him making content decisions. I want him focus on the code. I can work that out to where he's streaming is a separate thing. So I might have to take this out of the repo entirely. I'll go past simple confrontation, application tracker, build private alpha, dog product, backend, backup days. Yeah, we did all that. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so he's got a pretty good idea what's happening, and I'm happy enough with the what has happened so far with the BMAD thing. Like I think it has worked out. I think it saved me a lot of time because I did in 2 days would have taken me a week. And that's me streaming and having the conversations here where I'm not 100% looking at the code or the documentation. And then I didn't work on this morning or last night. I finished the stream yesterday, stopped, and went off and did my own stuff. I worked on some other projects last night. That's how I know I got to wait on somebody else. And then this morning I had shit to do. So I just went and did that stuff. And then I didn't really look at the script and stuff until this morning to figure out, okay, that's where we're at. That's what we're doing next. I don't have a project board set up. I don't, not for any of this. So, I mean, it's worked out. I have to do some other stuff here. I want to know what he's going to say. Hey, what's up? Because I don't remember the next step that they said you got to go through. Um, I, yeah, Natalie, I thought about multi-streaming. I know it's doable with OBS. Um, I kind of wanted to do the spaghetti approach for like um, just stream everywhere that I could possibly stream, and then figure out where my audience is. Just stream everywhere, and then wherever my audience is, that's where my audience is. So that's fine. Because I don't know where they're going to be. I assume YouTube. I thought because it's people taking care of sandwich generation, people with kids who are also taking care of elderly parents. They're not rich people because rich people put elderly people in a home. They can afford it and they don't take that kind of personal responsibility. But people in my tax bracket, we can't afford that, so we take care of our own. And even if we had money, we would still take care of our own before we send them off Hospice, yes, but because we don't have that we don't have that skill set. But just because Ted is Ted's my father-in-law, just because he has a hard time keeping track of his pills doesn't mean he needs to go to a home. You know what I mean? Like that's not the same thing. But I figured those people are going to be on Rumble. Um, I thought I would have a little bit more advantage, but Rumble kept messing me up on the video. Like I couldn't figure out how to get that video clear. Um, so maybe it's that, but I didn't want to like, hey, I'm gonna keep tweaking Rumble. I wanted to just stream. So I tried YouTube and hey, that works. So that's why I just settled for here for now. Um, but I'm not opposed to multi-streaming a bunch of different places. You'd have to help me with it. But I'm sure it's fine. I also realized that like guys who code online, there's a billion of them. So even if I could reach my audience, you know what I mean? I don't know what my audience would look like. I don't want to be the tutorial guy. That's not what I'm trying to do. If people can learn from what I'm doing, great. Um, but if I don't want to be the tutorial guy, the politically backed, yeah, I'll just do this. The politically backed portion of it, I also do know that my target audience is going to have a political opinion. My political opinion doesn't matter, but my market, where I think I will get the most traction, I could be wrong, but the place that I think I will get the most traction as far as users has a political ideology. And me personally, that doesn't have anything to do with mine. And even if they were adverse to mine, if it was a completely opposite party of me, that also doesn't matter because my app is supposed to help people and I want to help as many people who are willing to take the help. So what my political stance is doesn't matter. What their political stance is doesn't matter to me. Even if they're not an ally of the United States, way off, that doesn't matter to me. I make software. I'm not a politician. I'm not an elected official. I'm not any of that. I make software. So if you here's a market. If you are a person who needs to manage medication for someone other than yourself, okay, you're the market. Wherever in the world you are, that's the market. I want you to use my app. It's that simple. So, but I think the people who are going to want to use my app, I think they meet a certain criteria. So they're on Rumble, but they're also, I mean, yeah, they're also on YouTube. They're everywhere. So, and Facebook, yeah, Facebook is a thing. Um, But like I said, I don't know. I don't know where these guys are going to be. So I mean, I know streaming we're limited by my hardware, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, we need to talk about it. We can talk about it later. Let me finish this up. All right, accomplish 2 sessions. Yep. Possibility to find BMAD work integration needs. Clarified the MVP. I got a real good idea what that is going to be. That's awesome. 3 differentiators. Yep. We did the structure, reality check, decision framework. Yep. Organized ideas into 5 major clusters. That's fine. That's all fine. We've made our decisions about our tech stack. That's good. Made our hosting platform. That's good. Yeah, so we should be 4 weeks away from having an alpha. I think we can do that faster. I don't think it's going to take us 4 weeks. I think we'll be there faster. Okay, so we can close this dude out. Let's look at where we are at the stream. What was our? Because we got 45 minutes left. Okay, priority ranking system. We did that. We did the MVP features. Did that. Got it on screen. We finished the tech stack. We got got the features. They duplicated that. We got that. We still gotta. Do we need to take a break? No, we do not need to take a break. The little girls are sleeping, so we can make it. All right, so we got. Create GitHub issues for immediate next steps. We're not going to do that. That I'm going to do off camera. That's done. That's done. You didn't finish that integration. This is done though. Wait, that's done. This is done. So we still have some stuff to. We solved that. Yeah, I did that. I didn't check this off, but see, this is telling me that I need to go ahead and start. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so this is command this. All right, now let's go to because remember our questions from yesterday about turbo base and some of that other stuff. They're not questions now. Doesn't matter. So let's go down to core. We want to see the right. So this work thing, the next step would be the market research, competitor analysis, create project brief. I think I'm going to do those off stream. You guys don't care about that? Well, I don't know how long it's going to take. That would be up to you guys. Do you guys want to see like the market research and competitor analysis? That's more business focused than it is code. Do you guys want to see that kind of stuff? I think it's important. All right, let's do. All right, we close that out. We're going to source control. Like, we can make all these changes. We're going to delete this is two separate. All right, and then we're going to discard our changes. Yeah, move to track. All right, and then we're going to do the streams. And we're going to push our changes. All right, and then we're going to. Let me think this through. Let me think this. Yeah, we're gonna. All right, before we do that, we need to. I like where this is going, so we're going to. Let me show you how I'm taking this out. I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, we got rid of our scratch file. Okay, so we need to. Okay, we need to clean up our repo because we have the docs section, streams. This all doesn't matter anymore, right? It does matter. It does matter. It's not a. Okay, we need to. All right, so we're going to. All right, we're going to ask BMAD Claude. Is it the operations guy? Okay, so we're gonna have to clean it up. Or we're gonna push those commits. We're gonna clean it up, push it to remote. We're gonna create a pull request. Right. We're gonna merge the pull request. Dev. And then we're going to create a branch. Which branch to go with? BMAD workflow. Next steps. And then we're going to go do the next steps. Right? Does that make sense? I think that makes most sense. All right, so let's look at the agents. BMAD core, who do I got? I got analyst, architect, master, orchestrator. What's the orchestrator do? Explains what was so fast. He's a coordinator. Master. Oh, yeah, yeah, Darren wasn't gone very long. All right, so we're gonna try the master guy. I think he's gonna be. Well, who else do we have? Yeah, it's gonna be the master. All right, so let's go to Claude. Gonna go down to master. Toggle YOLO mode. I thought they had a YOLO mode. No, don't do YOLO. All right. Then I installed BMAD and started brainstorming session. Strumming. My assumption that longer need docs means review petition. This repo tell me exactly need to need to keep reference. That is going to be the docs. It's going to be docs. Brainstorming session results. Let's see what he says. YOLO. Come on, man. YOLO. YOLO mode. I mean, YOLO mode, like driving fast on the expressway, asking somebody out on a date. Yeah, you only live once. Go for it. AI coding your app to potentially is going to generate revenue? No. No, no, no. It is very punny, though. I like that. I like puns. I do like puns. I like puns very much. What? Terminator making Skynet. You know why Skynet's never going to happen? Because AI is open source. Because you can get your own models. So when Skynet's going to happen, but as far as killing all the humans, it's not going to happen because once Skynet becomes an actual reality, anybody that's got a couple of GPUs laying around is going to be able to compete. Maybe not effectively, but quitters talk. Want Claude to do the clean. All right, I want you to do everything except for create new roadmap. Roadmap. Appropriate. 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 I don't think that's right. Appropriate. Add. All right, so yeah, I think we're making pretty good time. I think I'm getting everything done. We're so surprised. I didn't think we'd get this far. I thought it would take me. I think it would take me longer. Yeah, you can archive it. I'm probably going to delete that archive, but for now, it's a good practice to archive instead of delete, at least for the AI. Yeah. And we haven't been using Warp Terminal too much on this project. And when you work on Warp and it asks you, do you want to set up a Warp file for the AI? It asked you, and I said, yeah, go ahead and just pull from the Claude. And so then it's just assembling, which because I don't think we're going to do a lot of Warp with BMAD because it's working so good in Claude. This particular project, I don't think it's going to have a ton of Warp use, ton of terminal work. I mean, technically, I'm in the terminal right now with Claude, but all right, that's fine. Pocket base, yeah, that's the only edit. Yeah, yep. Quitters. Still laughing about the quitters talk. We're not quitters. Realists. You gotta stop putting that stuff on there, dude. Yeah, don't put that kind of personal stuff out there on the internet. At least not in my chat. I think that's embarrassing. I don't want anybody to be embarrassed. That's right. So far, so good. Yeah. Yeah, because we're not doing that. That's fine. You gotta wait, sooner. See this tiny little bladder back here? All right. Previous versions. Right, because now we're just updating. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, the README is for, I mean, it's for people, right? So they're going to jump in here and see what's going on. Hopefully, somebody will look at some point in the future. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Probably not. No. Yeah, no, he can commit. I don't mind spending the tokens on that. I'm not at my limit. All right, so as long as we do the git cleanup, I still got to do the pull requests and stuff. I think we got everything done. Went a little faster. I'm not going to create an issue for it. Yeah. Okay, so we are good with the master agent. Let's open this up. Let's go look and see what we got changed. We shouldn't see anything in source control. We could sync the changes. And then it's going to ask us if we want to create a pull request. All right. All right, so we pulled our pull requests. We're going to assign it to me. I'm going to do that off camera. There we go. Labels, project. I don't have any of those set up yet. All right, we did that. Push that changes. All right, I'm gonna do that off camera. All right, I'm gonna do the merge pull request to dev and then the workflow next steps off camera later today or tonight maybe. Uh, but I gotta close that out. Source control. Gonna scratch Bob. Map sync. All right, so what do you guys think? I think I did pretty good today. I think we did pretty good today. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up early, uh, just because the next section doing the and when I'll probably get you guys on a call because I think that'll be easier to talk face to face. I have some other questions too, so if you're around, I'll grab you in Discord. Um, but yeah, I think tomorrow's going to be the analyst and the other stuff, um, marketing guy, market research guy, agent. But we'll see. I want to talk to you about it, and then Natalie said streaming to multi platforms. I got one other plugin that I want to hook up to that I think will be helpful. Uh, Maybe you can help me with that. But as far as the stream goes, yeah, as far as the stream goes, I think I don't think there's anything that I want to do additionally today. It's all tomorrow stuff to move along with our plan. BMAD is actually a pretty good system. I don't know how well it's going to work long term, but for right now, my first impressions for 2 days working through it. I know it's not great streaming content because it's not like flashy. It's allowed me reading and brainstorming. So I know that's maybe not what certain people want to see, but that is the point of my streams, though, is that some of this is the boring, dry stuff that if you do it, you'll get better at it, faster at it. The next time I use this, I'll be faster at it. And it did help me come up with, oh, I had some assumptions that weren't correct. And it did help me tease out a little bit of my idea. So that's beneficial. Depending on what you're building. I mean, if you're just building something quick and dirty, you don't need to do all this. Um, but I don't know. All right, so that's me though. For now, hopefully this thing goes live. I mean, we're all live now, but I'm trying to save these in a playlist, so they should just like show up, and we'll see if anybody else ever finds them. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm having a good time doing this, so I'm gonna keep doing it.